this jar method's definitely got its attributes. It's good for mushrooms that are going to grow straight up like this. Makes a really nice, a well-favored mushroom in Japan, the shimeji. Also, sometimes oyster mushrooms will be grown in the same way, and they call them shimeji too, though they're not the same Buna shimeji that this is. But I'm going to do some experimenting with deli containers, which I use for the cordyceps, and see if I can grow these like this and grow some of the blue oysters as shimejis too. Pick them young. But these are a tasty mushroom and one of my favorites, and very good for you. Another has some good health qualities.
Now, can you take those exact mushrooms there and make a tissue culture out of them?
That's why they're here. Those and these other mushrooms, I had these black pearls. I have one culture of black pearl, but when Jen gave us these, I thought, well, I'll tissue culture it. I'm not super fond of black pearl, but some people are, and I'm archiving more and more cultures and putting them on water agar, distilled water agar, and preserving them in suspended animation in distilled water to see how long that'll work. I'm going to I grow several jars of each one, and after a year I'll test them. But it's supposed to be a good method.
And then those ones right there, like since there's so many mushrooms coming off of that same block, can you get take the spores off of that shimeji and then make your own strain essentially?
You could take one of these. You would want it to be a little more mature, but these are probably still growing since they're connected to their substrate to some extent. And then you want to see the spores mature enough that you feel you can get spores, and then you can cut this or break this cap off, set it on a clean piece of paper or tin foils or foil. Aluminum foil works well. Put that on that and gather the spores, and then smear the spores on some petri dishes, and then choose your cultures. And there's different ways to choose cultures depending on the way that mushroom likes to grow. Some have very fluffy mycelium, some have very aggressive stringy mycelium.
And then you'd kind of choose your genetics based on how they grow and what they grow.
I like to see aggressive for one thing. So, and if you can see actually fruiting on your petri dish, that is something that gives you a little leg up right there. Because maybe some of the sectors, when you put down a spore print, you're going to get many different samples, and so you have to choose from those samples and put them on another agar dish, and then watch to make sure that they don't make sections again. And if they're all look like they're all the same, and then I would usually probably do it at least one more time, but just to make sure it was as aggressive as I wanted, and that it was a pure culture and clean.